All right, ESPN's wall-to-wall coverage of UFC 235 continues in Las Vegas, but before we get to those fights on Saturday, we have arranged a little impromptu trash-talking seminar, and we brought along with us the best in the business, UFC welterweight Ben Askren, who actually fights this weekend, Robbie Lawler, UFC 235.
Brett, I forgot that's what we were here for. I thought me and Chael were just going to BS about the fights.
That's what we're kind of here for, but we're mostly here for this. Mostly here for the trash-talking seminar. And Chael Sonnen, obviously the most dangerous man ever coming out of West Linn, Oregon. Gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the most infamous moments, trash-talking moments in combat sports history. We're going to have you guys break down the film.
This should be fun.
If you would be so kind.
Class is in session.
Okay,
Where do we begin?
Let's go ahead and start it off.
Why are you why so defensive? Why are you going to be afraid?
I'm not defensive. Just all you guys work RD up. You gave him a false sense of security that he was a god. He was unbeatable at 170. Now I just beat him. I want to hear the excuses.
Well, that makes it even better for you. So, you know, we said it was a great opponent. You went out there. We just said, I don't know if you care to listen. I know you just had a fight and you've been hitting the head a few times, but obviously you don't think too straight. We just said you fought a very, very good fight. If you care to listen, open your ears and stop talking so much crap for 1 minute. You might hear that we actually gave you some compliments.
Stop talking crap. Isn't that your king? That's what you do the best.
No,
that's all you do is talk.
Well, Colby, let's talk about who you were talking.
Why don't you come out, boy?
Hey.
Come out of retirement. Bisping, I'll retire you for good.
Okay. Hey, that's the best joke I've heard all day. Good one. Take your shades off, buddy.
Well, I would say that Michael Bisping got the best of that one, even though I know Chael's going to say the announcer should stay in character and not talk trash to the fighter. But, you know, what Colby did here was he started talking to Michael. Michael's really sharp. He's quick. And when Michael came back with that, Colby was kind of like, I don't really know what to say here, so let's threaten him with the fight.
After Colby, how do you talk trash to somebody you know you're never going to fight? He's not in your weight class, and he's retired, and he's an analyst in some studio somewhere. So what is the strategy when you know you're not going to get in an actual physical confrontation with him?
And Ben, I saw that as the brilliance of it. What danger is he in? Why not go after a former champion?
Yeah, and if you're the bad guy, that's kind of like, you know, what you do, right? You just threaten everybody. So, you know, I'm surprised he didn't threaten Karen Bryant or something, too.
You're going to have your tail
With a snake thing.
Do you know how to kill a snake, Ariel?
I don't.
You grab it by its tail and you whip it on his head, and that's exactly what's going to happen January 9th. They stay here to
He needs to stay in camera vision.
He's never killed no snake. He's never killed no snake.
He's never killed a snake. He's right.
Scared. You're the boringest fighter on the roster.
Hold on, TJ. Let me show you my goal. You don't have that. And you would never beat Demetrius Johnson. And you don't have that. You don't have
Oh, my God, look at all those stop signs.
You have no gold, baby. It's the Golden Royal.
That's exactly my point, man. On the 19th, I'm going to get her and destroy this.
I'm already
always talking
I saw
about
this
himself.
interview. Henry's more
It's not about the belt.
aggressive than ever.
Okay, so Ben, I got to tell you, I
bet I know where you're going.
I can't hear what they're saying. This is like when the Ultimate Warrior used to do interviews and nobody knew what he was saying. I actually can't hear the words here. I love that Henry started with the snake bit and TJ simply said, "You've never killed a snake." Okay, you're probably right about that. But I will tell you, as far as confidence and maybe even cockiness and showmanship goes, Cejudo is lighting up the screen right now.
Well, you know, what I was going to point out, Chael, that this is going to go over most people's heads. But Henry showed that Olympic gold medal, right? He showed that UC gold was cool. But then what he showed, which they didn't see, was the 5 stop signs. And every little kid who's ever wrestled has wanted to win one of those there in the back corner right there. They've wanted to win one of those stop signs. That means a lot. He got 5 of them, it looks like. And TJ, that's in TJ's head. And, you know, the Olympic gold medal is kind of far away, but the fact that you never want to stop sign, and Henry's got a whole bunch of them up on his wall, like, that's a thing.
This is interesting how they're talking over each other. They're kind of killing the spot. I can tell by watching this, something's happening here. Something special's happening here. But, Ben, I wish they'd let each other go.
You got to let each other go. I mean, formulate your own counterpoint, you know, because when they're talking, nothing, like you're saying, nothing's getting heard. The one thing I didn't like on TJ's side, because it's the most overused terminology, and when you say the best or the worst, that means one. That means singular. He said you're the most boring fighter ever. Nobody's ever said Henry Cejudos is the most boring fighter ever. That's literally never happened. I mean, He might not be the most exciting, but he's definitely not the most boring. So, like, why would you say something that just is ridiculous?
You've never killed a snake.
That's a good line.
That's a great line. I
really
missed it
is.
the first time I saw it. I mean, Henry had this whole point on the snake. He's wearing a snake jacket. TJ's been called a snake before. I mean, there's a whole thing on this, and TJ simply said, "You've never killed a snake." It's a great line.
You know something is going to happen. If you're confident in that situation, you will achieve things in life. That's how you overcome things. That's how you put yourself out there. You believe it, and you achieve it. And that's what I do. I know what I'm going to do. I know that I'm better than this
Sounds
guy.
like
I
the
know
worst
that I'm going to knock
self-help
him
book you've
out.
ever read. Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the up. Listen, you're talking like you're like this dominant champion. You just won the belt. This is your first defense. It's not like you're Anderson Silva, who I just beat, by the way. Okay, this is your first defense. You're going to lose the belt. Every fight is different. You know that.
Hey.
So, what?
I told you,
got
Michael
something to say.
Bisping's
Finish
quick.
your
That
sentence.
was,
You said
that
finish.
was brilliant.
You're just an
Finish
average
it.
bloke. You're just an average bloke.
Good use of English.
I'm a samurai. I'm going to come in there silent,
is
undetected, and I'm going to knock you
Samurai,
out. I'm going to make my
conceive,
kill,
achieve.
and I'm going to fucking
Stop
be
it.
out.
You're making a
I'll be
fool
out
of
on the
yourself.
next contract. Watch me.
All right, buddy. I get to punch him in the face and become world champion at the same time. I am a happy man.
Yeah, Michael,
It's my destiny.
I actually wanted to ask you.
Yeah, it is. You just said, believe it, it will come real. It is my destiny. I believe, Luke. I believe.
Knowing something and making it happen. Watch.
Believe it, buddy.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true.
Believe it. You better work for it, too.
That's great. I underestimated Michael Bisping in his career many
quick.
times. Yes, he
He's
is.
quick.
Yes, he is. I mean, I always knew he was good. I knew there was something special there, but I got lost in the acts. I mean, it took me a little while, and now I do look at him and go, man, he really is pretty good at this, and he's got a good mind for it. He threw that right in Luke's face. See, believe, achieve.
And then, Luke kind of put himself out there in a little sappy stuff. That's not usually Luke. And then Michael, he didn't wait. He just sicked him, right? I thought that was... And then he continued to roll with it as he went through the thing.
Take a look around you. You got a lot of champions, a lot of grizzled vets. Who do you think would give you the hardest fight out of anybody on stage?
Right here. Right here, the hardest hitting 145 pound, the real hardest hitting 145er right here.
Who's talking like
This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't move. They're not, who the is that guy? Who the is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the is that? Oh my God. I don't know. When I take that guy's belt, Leprechaun. Oh, good one. When I take that guy's belt, I'm looking around. I don't know what anyone else has for me around here. I might have to jump up and drag Floyd Mayweather out there and see what the he's at again.
Yeah, that power dynamic between Jeremy Stevens and Conor McGregor, it was just too much. Jeremy had no chance. And you got to give it to Conor here because, listen, I hear kids in my wrestling academy saying that freaking line 50 times a week. It's almost so annoying, You go on Instagram, it's everywhere. I mean, so this one clip, he made like a general vernacular of teenagers in America. It's insane.
There's something about not knowing that guy's name. Hey, what do you think about fighting so-and-so? I don't even know who it is. There's a condescension there. It's dumb, it's silly, it's playground, and it works. And this is essentially what Conor did. He repackaged the who is this guy, right? He called John Jack. It just works.
And I'm not calling around. I predict that when I meet Joe Fraziers, this will be like a good amateur fighting a real professional. This will be like a kid out of the Olympics meeting the fastest heavyweight champion that ever lived. This will be no contest. This fight will be much easier. He will be easier to hit. He will not be as much trouble or as awkward as Oscar Bonavino. Joe Fraziers, this will go down. I predict that the fans will be angry. They'll be mad at the critics. They'll be mad at the experts for misleading them so much. This man will be completely outboxed.
You got time. You got time.
This will be no contest. That's all I want to say.
All right, what do you say, Joe? What do you say to that? I'd say he's nothing but a bunch of noise. That's all. He's going way back in the time of, let's say, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? This is the day, man. You understand? You're not fighting Glory. You're not fighting Oscar Bonavena. You're not fighting Sonny Liston. You fighting Joe Fraziers.
Everybody knows that's not the point.
That's the point. Joe, what's your prediction? My prediction, the fight wouldn't go to distance. I'll stop him.
Stop me.
You. How soon? What round? Look,
don't let him obligate
1 to 10. You be out there. I wouldn't bet you be out there. You be out there.
I love it because this guy I read so much about, studied, and he kind of wrote the playbook. he was trash talk didn't exist before. Who trash talked before Muhammad Ali? The answer is nobody. I mean, he wrote the playbook on it. So when we're watching him, you know, it's not a Conor McGregor show, but we got to remember the era it was in.
Sure. And the real key on this stuff is you want to be different. When we were talking about Jeremy Stevens a moment ago, it's a chance to stand out and be different. If you remember the time frame of this, nobody was doing what Ali's doing. To Ben's point, this is the Godfather. This guy's beyond reproach. This guy wrote the blueprint that everybody else from wrestling to other sports to fighting, that they all stole from. So, but a lot of it, the reason it worked, and you might watch it, well, that was kind of simple. I've seen guys come harsher and be more aggressive. This was the original. They weren't having press conference back then. They weren't putting fighters this close with the guy in the middle. This was something really unique, and that's why you saw Frazier thrown off. This is not something that he was used to having to deal with.
And I mean, he had this ability to get under people's skin, to make them so mad and so angry. And obviously it sold the fight, but it also helped make his fight easier because the guy was so angry and focused on killing instead of focused on how they should beat Muhammad Ali.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Calm down what? Calm down what? More respect to the champion. More respect from me? Yeah? You should respect me. You've got enough respect. Go. You're so funny, man. Go. You're so funny. Go. I just want to laugh.
She's trying to dismiss her.
You laugh hard. Go home. Where?
If Claudia turns and walks away, she loses here.
Yeah. I'm gonna put you in shame. Do it. No, I'm gonna wait. Do it. And enjoy it slowly. Do it. Slowly, day by day. You're so funny. You are. You are. I'm the boss. You're the boss? So make me leave then. I'm the boss. Make me leave. I can fight. Make me leave. Go. Go where? Go away. Go where? You want me to split on your face or punch you? Go away. Go where? Go away. Go where?
That's pretty cool.
Go where? Such a bitchy.
Oh.
Hey, don't push me. Don't push
touch.
me. You did first.
That was good. Well, when you start making the threat like I'm the boss, I can make you go away. Well, then you have to actually make them go away. But the hard part about that is she couldn't actually make her go away because she's going to get in trouble if she does.
Yes, don't ever put your adversary in a situation without giving them a way out, right? That was the problem right there. And I loved the body language of Joanna. She's overlooking her bench. She's looking down on her, but her hands are behind her back. So it's like, okay, are we aggressive or are we stand? There's a confusion, which makes you watch.
Absolutely. I thought it was fantastic. You know what it kind of reminded me of? I don't know if you had a little brother, but I had a little brother. When you tell him, like, if you don't do that, I'm going to beat you up, but you know you're going to get in trouble if you beat him up. Right. So you can't, and he kind of knows it too. So there's this tension of, okay, is he really going to beat me up? But I know mom and dad are going to yell at him. He's going to get in a lot of trouble if he does that. So he's not really going to make me do this, is he? And that's kind of like, there was that tension. We didn't really know what was going to happen. I felt like Joanna was going to grab her and be like, okay, you got to go, push her to follow up on what you were saying, but then she couldn't.
There was also something very dark about when her opponent, Claudia, said, then do it now, and she said, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do it slowly, and I'm going to enjoy it. There was something very Hannibal Lecter-ish about this, where you're going, whoa! Where's this headed?
Why are you asking questions in English? Anderson sits here like he doesn't understand you. Ed Soros interprets, and we got to hear it a second time. First off, he speaks English, and second, we could replace Ed Soros with an app I could download for $9.99. What kind of bizarro world are we in here? This is the strangest thing I've been part of. You know, people ask me if I wanted to go to Brazil for the fight. Sure, it'd be neutral territory. Anderson lives in a mansion in Beverly Hills. Las Vegas, Nevada is closer to him than it is to Westland, Oregon. He's got home court advantage. What are we even doing here, guys? This is insanity. He sits over and pretends he doesn't speak English? Come on. It's like pretending you're the world champion. I can't believe... Guy walks around with a fake belt. That's insane. I would never do that. Oh, boo. Oh, he went too far with the fake belt. Come on. Where you guys been?
Anderson, how do you, maintain the calm? Because I can kind of see, I can kind of just see, the stress coming off. What are you doing to maintain that level of calmness before you step into the octagon on Saturday night? Like, what's keeping you from, getting real personal?
Don't answer yet, Anderson. You got to pretend you don't understand. Ed?
Anderson, ele estava perguntando, você está parecendo muito tranquilo. O que você está falando para se...
Right on cue.
I mean, listen, I don't know if he's going to compliment his own work, but these were the things that you watched over and over again, and the reason they're so effective is because they're true. Anderson does speak English. Anderson does live in California. Like, it's so funny because it's so true, and his opponent is taking offense to this when, like, I don't understand why he's like, well, I do speak English, and I do live in Beverly Hills. What's the issue here? I couldn't figure this out. You know, Anderson was giving so much ammunition over nothing.
Yeah, it was really light cannon fodder, right? I mean, no profanity. It's hard to break down my own stuff, but there's no profanity in there. You're not coming across. You're not throwing bottles at a guy. But you're saying it with an attitude, and you're saying some stuff that's real that he'd rather wasn't out there. At the same time, not humiliating him, not putting him down or saying something that you know private from the business. Come on, you live in a house, and this happens to be where it is, and you're pretending you're from Brazil. It's pretty low, but it works. It's G-rated, but it works.
There's a lot of welterweights on the table right now. I wonder what it's been like backstage while you've been in town. Have there been any interactions?
Marty tried attacking me 20 minutes ago. Listen, I knew this dude. We trained together at the Olympic Training Center. He was Marty then. I didn't even come at him when I got to UFC because I liked him. I thought he was a good dude. Listen, the opportunity came up at UFC 233. Tyron was hurt. And so I said, listen, this is an opportunity. I'm here to fight the best guys. He's pretty damn good at fighting. So let's get in there for the title. And so obviously, I put the full weight of what I could behind him. Obviously, he doesn't like his old name. But that was what he went by. And so he still doesn't address it. I don't know what his issue is with it. I wasn't even really trying to insult him. That was just how I knew the man. And I wanted to get in the cage and fight him. So I was trying to make the most of my opportunity. He clearly took offense to it. Maybe he could tell us why he took offense to it. And, you know, if something comes up after Tyron and Marty fight, then I'd be willing to fight him in the future.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it.
Yes, fight. We get in the cage. I think he's confused what we do. Like, we're not playing basketball, wrestling. We get in the cage and we fight each other. So threatening me backstage, like, that was what I volunteered for. I volunteered for that.
Hey, Kamara, what happened with Ben backstage?
What? I know not of what you speak of.
Well, he said that you threatened him.
Threaten him? See, that's the difference. It's not threatening. There's no threat. What do I need to threaten somebody for? My thing is...
The video came out. Very clearly.
He put it out!
Because this is what I do. I chose to be here. You know, so if you're gonna, my thing is, if you're gonna talk online, you're gonna come at me with a certain energy. When you see me on site, keep that same energy. That's it. That's it. That's how I am.
Dude, we fight in a cage. What? I mean, I don't understand what more there can be. Like,
listen,
we want to introduce weapons,
listen,
or what do you want to do?
Listen,
like,
young man. You know what?
I'm older than you.
Congratulations, young man. Congratulations, you made it here. You know, you get to be up here with your favorite fighters. You know, maybe after this, we can all sign something for you, so you can take home to your family. Okay? Congratulations, you made it here. Now, you know what? You should be worried about that man over there. You know who you're fighting?
Yeah, Robbie, he's good at fighting.
Do you know who you're fighting? Okay, pay attention. Be worried about that man. You know, I'm fighting for the UFC welterweight title.
Yeah.
And on March 2nd, I will be the new welterweight champion.
I highly doubt
so at that point, you can come talk to me. But right now,
would.
focus on that man over there. All
if
right?
somehow Tyron like
Focus
slips on a
that
banana
man,
peel
my
or
man.
something, then I'll be calling your name.
Okay, so
He got one good bar band.
that was very fun, where you said you're up here with all your favorite fighters. What I really loved about it, and been with all of your work, is I also see the honesty in it. Like, you're a guy who, while talking trash, isn't afraid to then compliment him and go, he's a really good fighter. He's got a good name in this. He just told the truth. I came in here, and so I wanted to be attached to other really good fighters, so I thought we would go fight. I also really love when he challenges you to a fight, and you're like, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I volunteered for. But I find that authenticness and the fact that you can go from the entertainer to just calling it straight at the same time, that's what's really unique.
Well, you know, the thing that now, watching this back, that puzzles me is I said he tried to fight me backstage. He says, I do not know what you speak of. And then, like, I don't know what the hell he said after that. But then his cameraman put the video out of him trying to get in my face and threaten me. So he says, I didn't threaten you. And then he puts out the video of him threatening me.
He documented the crime and then released the evidence while denying that it ever happened. No, that's incredible. But again, he's also not under oath. He could go out there and have some fun with it. But I don't know if he knows, because you were sitting behind him, but you actually pointed down to him, but he couldn't see it, and said, this guy's a really good fighter. And maybe he didn't know, oh, that's me. It's like, no, Marty, he actually said really nice things about you, in addition to he would like to compete with you.
That's funny.
Well, this has been fun. We got to wrap it up. I want you guys to say either one thing, your best piece of advice on talking trash, or the worst thing that you can possibly do? Either the biggest mistake to avoid or the number one thing to keep in mind when you're talking trash.
I would say best advice is be yourself, right? That's easy. And tell the truth. Like we talked about Chael's piece. Well, it worked because Anderson speaks English and he lives in California. So it's not like Chael's making stuff up that's not true. It's just Chael's being himself. He's telling truths, and that makes it really easy.
And I would say be very careful having something scripted and planned. If you come out and you do it and I've watched guys, like the cat that ate the canary, they'll deliver a line and it's so big and powerful, but they don't know there's a question coming in off of that, and then the guy's going to respond to you, and you got to have, and if that isn't in line, if one is nice and polished and clean, on the follow-up, it just doesn't work. So I would just encourage people, and you'll hear this all the time, but I'll echo it too. Be yourself out there. Don't be afraid to say something, but just make sure it's yourself so that you can be consistent and do it all day long.
Be yourself and don't commit too hard to the game plan. It sounds like a fight, actually.
Yeah,
there you go.
Very true.